Hello, friends.
Hello.
Welcome to a morning sprint. It has been a very long time since I have done one of these, but as I was just telling Sonia, it was just something I needed to do for my own sanity for the next 2 weeks because we just have a lot going on. So, for any of you guys who are watching this later on, thank you guys for coming and watching later on as well. But I do have my sweet friend Sonia with me.
Hello. Hello.
I was so excited because I was okay with doing this by myself. But then when she was like, dude, I can be there. It's like, I love it. I love it because I love using this time as well to, one, just catch up with all of my book friends. But then also, it's just more fun having someone else to talk to.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I talk to myself enough. So, talking to others is always fun too.
Yeah. Gonna share it. I love it. I love it. Excuse me. As you guys can see, I am on a different boat today because I'm having to do some work over here, but then also for our TBR game, I have a new setup to make it a little easier for those of you guys who are playing along. And so we might eventually make this like a regular thing. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm just planning 1 week at a time right now. And so for today, this is where we're at. So if the internet's kind of weird, I'm sorry. We have to move our router around based off of which boat I'm on. So, Sonia, what
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
do today? Or are you?
Well, I it is a very rainy, gloomy day. It has been for
Mhm,
2 days, and I've been so mad because I have to go to work, and I'm like, I just want to read.
mhm.
But best days to read, November rain, fantastic. And so I'm reading a couple of books.
Okay.
I am reading The Mystery of the Haunted Pool by Phyllis A. Whitney. I would say this is a YA gothic suspense, maybe.
Okay.
Very, very suspenseful. It was written in the 1960s, product of its time. There's a lot of really kind of cuteness to it. I'm enjoying it thus far, though I'm not so super far in it. My only complaint about I love vintage books, but my only complaint about vintage books is the writing is so tiny, and
Yeah.
for my vintage eyes, that does not compute. Um, I'm also reading Murder She Wrote, Fatal Feast. This is the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving portion of the books. Um,
Perfect.
I do not read these in order, and if Storm watches this, she's gonna, probably stroke out. But I don't read these in order. I read
Do you
them as
have to?
no, I don't feel like it. To me, it's just like watching an episode of Murder She Wrote, and I mean, I don't necessarily watch those in order either.
Mhm.
So this is just when I'm in the mood for a holiday or whatever, I know that this is going to be like the comfy, cozy, um, watching an episode, but kind of doing it at my own pace, that sort of thing. So I'm doing this. I'm also e-reading A Tangled Web by L.M. Montgomery. I'm
Okay.
participating in the More Montgomery Challenge. I'm
Mhm.
hosting that. And I'm trying to get in as many books as I can because I'm so strange. Anytime I do a readathon, I want to get it all finished.
Right.
So I make sure I have enough time.
Yes.
And I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think you're supposed to enjoy it all month. But my little anxious heart's like, oh no, you need to read this and you need to read. And thus far, I've done over half of what I planned. So that makes me feel really, really good.
Yeah,
My Do you use Hoopla?
I do.
Does your library only allow so many, like, our library will have a daily limit of checkouts for everybody who is at that library.
Okay.
So if you don't check your books out at midnight or 12:30, you don't get to check out books because I guess people go on there and check out multiple books and
Okay.
then you're all out. So I've been trying for 3 days to get an Audible book to listen to,
Wow.
and I can't because and I mean I was up with the chickens today. I got up at 5:30. I was out of here by 6 and I still could not get a book.
Huh. Yeah,
So
ours isn't like that. Like we have a limit of how many we can get a month.
we do too. Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, neither of them have done that. And maybe they do, but there's just not enough people over here. I don't know, but I feel like I live in both of my accounts because we have two different library accounts.
Mm.
Um, are from, fairly large ones. So I would assume that there would have we'd have that same issue, but I guess that's not a everywhere thing.
It's so frustrating. It's like if I don't get it, if I either have to stay up till midnight, and since we went turned back time, that is hard for me.
Yeah.
Or if even like I said, I got up at 6 to vote this morning, or I got up before 6 to vote this morning, and I still couldn't get it. I was like,
Yeah. It's crazy.
frustrating. It's frustrating, but I mean, it's a free service. I mean, you can't complain about something that's free.
Right. I have a love-hate with both Hoopla and Libby. Like, there are aspects I like about both of them, and I wish that they
Mhm.
would put them together.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I
that's
agree.
the thing. I love that there is no limit to how many you can get on Libby.
Hmm.
For the month. There is like with one time or whatever, and that's fine. But I
Right.
hate that sometimes you're having to wait months for a book.
Yes.
And then I love Hoopla where you can get the book. Well, not you, obviously, but you can get the book right away. But then you like one of mine, I can only do 7, which is more than I had another one where I could only do 5 at a
Mhm.
time, and that was like 5 for a month, 5 for the whole month. That was just ridiculous to me.
Right.
But I
We can
mean,
get I get 8 for the month, and I figure, okay, that's a book a week. That's doable. And then I
yeah,
have other resources that if I have to, and I only use Hoopla for Audible. I don't
yeah,
use it for any other books
yeah.
because if
I'm not an e-reader. I wish I was, but I'm not.
I
I'm just
I
not.
like e-reading because I can read in the dark. Once
Oh
upon
yeah,
a time when I had younger eyes and they weren't so vintage, I could read in the dark,
yeah,
but I can't anymore. And now, like e-readers allow you to do that. And I like to read when it's dark.
yeah.
You
I
know.
get it. I get it. I'm the same way, but I think because my Kindle is a Kindle Fire,
Mhm.
so it's just like looking at your phone, and I don't like that at night.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if maybe I switched, then maybe I would like it. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
use my iPad, and it's big enough and
Yeah,
bright enough that it's an easy read.
that's fair. That's
What are
fair.
you
So I am not sure because I'm not gonna be able to like physically read a book right now because I do like I'm gonna mainly have to use this sprint for productivity. Which, feel free to use this time to be productive, however you need. But I'm going to either listen to I had a couple of holds that came in and they're about to go back. And so I'm needing to listen to them soon. So I have Okay, one of them is Murder at an Irish Wedding, which I really want to read, but I have to physically read that one too because it is Irish. And so sometimes they'll say stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So that
That's
one I'm going to have to physically read that one.
yeah.
So I can't do that one. But the other two options are to gaze upon a wicked god, gaze upon wicked gods. And that was like a special book that I had got from Illumicrate. And it was chosen for me or whatnot. And so I have that option, or I have Poisoned, which is by Jennifer Donnelly, and that is a retelling of Snow White, but she tends to do them like darker.
Hmm.
And I loved her Stepsisters, which was about the stepsister from Cinderella, and it was gruesome, but like not over the top gruesome. It was really good. I really, really loved it, and so I'm leaning towards that one. But I have that one longer than I have the other one, so I'm like I should probably go with the one that's going to go back sooner rather than
Yeah,
later.
that's
Um,
fair.
Yeah, and especially because I did wait like 3 months for that, uh, to gaze upon wicked gods, so I should probably go ahead and read
Yeah,
it.
you might want to get to that one for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. But we're gonna do our TBR game, and guys, I have a new setup, so, bear with me as I try to make it work. But this way you guys can see what we're doing, and that will also probably help me to figure out which book I'm going to read because it's going to give us some prompts. And so for this month, we are only going to be choosing 3 prompts, and this will last us until next week. So let me get this. Yeah, y'all can see that, right? It's a bit
Mhm.
delayed on mine because it's having to run. I'm having to literally run 2 computers right now because StreamYard did not want the whole thing to work. So as y'all can see, this is my Shoots and Ladders games or game. And so I am going to, you guys can also play along, obviously. I'm using a 4-sided die just to make it to where we're not going to get through the board, in one sitting. Well, we could, but you never know. You never know. So I will explain the prompts once we get to them just to kind of make it a little bit faster instead of me doing it right now. So, oh, and Sonia, I'm obsessed with the mug.
You know, I I'm squeezing every bit of fall I can. I love fall so much, I'm also, I'm seeing everybody's, it's like YouTube is nothing but Christmas right now. Like Christmas has exploded all over YouTube. And see, there you go. And I love that. I love your mug too. That is awesome. He looks a little bit like King Friday from Mr. Rogers.
I love
I
him.
love it. I
love
love the face.
Yeah.
I love funky mugs, and you clearly do too.
I do.
I normally, back in the day, it was like as soon as the last trick or treater's foot stepped off my steps, it's like poof Christmas,
Yeah.
like Disney. But I don't know. I'm not ready to get rid of fall yet.
Yeah.
Squeezing onto it because I love it so much. I've waited so long.
Yeah. we had a hard time because our boat is already decorated for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but this was the first year where I was like, I'm struggling to get this stuff down because I actually really love all my fall stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All the colors of fall. My bedroom is fall colored, year round. I love those colors. I love that color combination, but I just am not, and I love Christmas. My house looks like Cracker Barrel at Christmas time. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not ready yet. And I got to let the spirit hit me when
Absolutely.
it feels like Christmas. I will do it. And it doesn't.
I totally get it. If I wasn't having to shoot a video about it, it probably wouldn't be Christmas yet, but I did. So it is what it is.
I'll be late. I'll be late to the game. My Christmas decorating video might be later and everybody's like, I'm already decorating for Christmas.
Hey, that's okay.
You could have it for next year. If you need ideas, I mean, it's whatever. And also, there's a lot of Christmas in here, and that's going to be a lot of work. So.
Yeah, we did only have the boat, and I'm still not finished. So, I mean, that's kind of, it takes a lot for a house.
Yeah, I'm not as ridiculous as I used to be. It used to be a tree in every room, and I had 9 trees.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once upon a time I had 13, but now I have 9, and then I went to 4, and now I only really decorate like my living room and a little bit in the kitchen.
Yeah,
because I used to do my bedroom. Like even the bathrooms had trees in them, and I'm no.
I totally get it. If we had rooms, then we would have a tree in every room, but it is a singular room.
Yes.
So we can't really do that. But
maybe I need a boat. Then I would stop being ridiculous with my Christmas decorating.
No, you wouldn't.
I have one tree that has over 3,000 ornaments on it.
Wow.
And I'm not doing that again this year. Yeah. It's like, no.
No, I would be like tying those things on and they weren't coming off that tree. My grandma, that's what we used to always have to do. She'd want to decorate a tree. So we'd have to go over, decorate it for her, strap them onto the tree. And then we would just roll it into her closet throughout the year and pull it back out.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. The ornaments that I use are all older than I am.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really, like even when you just pick them up, sometimes they just shatter in your hands. Yeah. So it's like, you have to put them ginger with it. That's another thing. Like I have to be so careful with this.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't have anything like that because I have Piper, and so I
no children, no pets. We're all good here. So
and our big old dog, she now apparently likes to go crawl under the Christmas tree. She's never done it before, and this is the year that she's decided she's going to. And she's big, and the tree is quite short, and so she's
jostling it around.
Yes. So it's like, okay, well, all the ornaments are now going to have to be raised. That's great. That's great. So, okay, let's do this real quick, and then we're going to talk to some people and see what's going on in everybody's lives. So I'm going to roll real fast. I'm just using a 4-sided, and that's a 2. It's probably hard to see. Yeah, so you guys will just have to take my word for it. It's a 2. So we're going to do 1, 2. So it takes place in November. You guys can choose whether or not you want to mark on yours, by the way. I'm going to, otherwise I will forget which ones we chose. So I'm just going to do a little star.
I've already got that one started. Takes place in November.
There you go. Yeah, I don't have any of those. So that stinks. Okay, and now we're going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has T in the title, and that can be either like T as the word, or you can also just use the letters if you would prefer, because sometimes it can be a little harder to find one that you want to read that has that word. And then our last one, my boat is sloped, and I can tell because everything's trying to slide that direction. Oh, goodness. All right. And then we got 1. So we would have landed on feather on the cover, but because we have, no, it's a ladder. Never mind. That's our prompt. I forget how Chutes and Ladders work sometimes. we're good. So that's our prompt is a feather on the cover. It can also obviously also be plural. Use that however you want. It can be a birds on the cover. It can be whatever. It doesn't matter. You make that fit however you want. Hey, I think that that would actually work for I'm seeing if I can get it opened. Yeah, that would actually work for one of my prompts because she has feathers in her hair. So there we go. I guess I'll be reading To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods because that fits. So there we go, guys. We have our first November TBR game finished. I'm excited. I wasn't sure how this was going to work. It's really hard to play it by yourself and just make sure that it works, but it did. So yay! Okay, let me hold on. I can do it on this side. Sorry, let me get this taken off. There we go. All right. So now it should probably run a little bit easier. I'm needing to do this one too. There we go. All right. Now my internet's not like struggling trying to keep up with everything.
The hamster wheel isn't exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. That poor thing. I feel so bad because I'm like, I have YouTube and everything running as well. Oh my goodness. I'm sure Cody's home because of the weather as well. And so I'm sure that like it's just crazy. He's listening or watching or doing something over there too, which is using internet. But.
Well, Dan has about three because he's at work and he's in his
yeah.
he has like 3 computers going, and yeah, my poor internet. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And it's like we could only get this internet. Like there's no other option out here. And so we've just had to learn to deal with it. And I'm at my I'm almost like we're almost to our new cycle, but our thing will only allow us to upload quickly up to a certain extent, and then after that it will upload, but it'll just take a lot longer.
Yeah.
And so I'm at that point again where it's like, okay, so it takes almost half a day to upload a video, so I have to plan accordingly. So
frustrating.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. It's perks of living on a boat, I guess.
Mm-hmm. True. There's good and bad in everything.
I know it's true. It's true. Hi, Emily. You said you did your civic duty. So did Sonia. She also voted this morning. And if you guys have not, make sure that you do go and vote. Cody and I voted last week, and we got to take Piper in with us, which was so much fun. Yeah, but I was also slightly terrified because she just wanted to touch everything. I was like, we can't do that. Like, no, you gotta pay attention. So it was interesting, but she had a good time. We had a good time, and we got it done. And I'm gonna have to plug my laptop in just a second. And now you're working on laundry, cleaning, and reading. You're still reading 11, 22, 63. How far into it are you? You've been reading that for a week now. And you used to only be, oh, hi, Hannah. Sorry. I just realized it switched commenters. How are you, sweet friend? You used to only be able to get 3 from Hoopla. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine only having 3 for the entire month. You mooch off your husband's account, so you get a total of 10 Hoopla borrows. There you go. Yeah, we have one of our libraries allows 10, and then the other one allows 7. So I use those up. And half of the time I get all the books that I think I'm going to do for the month, and then I forget about them because I have 2 accounts. And it's like, oh yeah, I could have used this and I didn't. So, oh well. Oh well. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our first sprint. And we're going to do these ones a bit longer. So, well, not like a bit. We're going to do them probably 45 minutes for the first one, then kind of see where we're at. Because I know, Sonia, you're going to have to leave at some point if we're still here because you have work at 1, right?
Yeah, I go to work at 1, but about 11:30, I'm probably going to have to jump off just because I have things done before I go to work.
Yeah.
Like shower and eat and, those sorts of things.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and do, okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to math real quick. We'll come back at the 15. So that's actually going to be longer. It's going to be almost an hour. Does that work for you? Come back. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll talk to you. We can probably do like a shorter sprint and then come back and say bye.
Okay.
So I will get everything set up, and I'm going to hope that this ambiance will work because, yeah, my computer. All right, we'll be back soon. Let me get this playing for you guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Um, Sorry if the connection's a bit weird. I had to come over to our current boat, so it's a bit weird. And Sonia may have had to jump off for a second. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great morning and that you guys either got some reading done or it was productive at least for you guys. I did some reading, but I could not tell you what I actually read. I don't remember. There she is, the one I was like, oh, matter.
Sorry about that. Anytime I
Hello.
go to Sprint and I'm on my iPad, it does that. It'll freeze, and then I can't. I have to go back in. Our
Oh,
basement has water in it, so that's what I did during Sprint.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, we have gotten so much rain. I'm not surprised, to be
Yeah,
honest. And thankfully, it's just concrete. It's not, it's
yeah.
finished, but not. So, and we have drains, and it's all, but, I'm sweaty.
It's just a pretty glisten. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it smells pretty too. So,
Well, luckily, smell-o-vision doesn't exist yet, so there's that.
well, I mean, this smells really nice, but
Yeah.
this probably does not. So,
Oh my goodness. Well, were you able to like listen to anything, or did you just have to work on that?
no, I just ran downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm working on I'm doing book mail with a couple of friends who are also YouTubers, and we are exchanging books for Christmas and doing like one per week. And I'm trying to
Okay.
get all of that together, so
Yeah.
I'm not rushing to get it mailed out. I'd like to,
Yeah.
it's just, trying to get all. I can't believe I'm already doing Christmas stuff. Like in my head, I should be working on Halloween cards.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy. And for those that don't know, Sonia does the best book mail.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. Sweet.
You're welcome. It's so true, though. It's so true. I actually almost every day I'm using a part of something that you gifted
Oh,
me in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I've been collecting some things. I go to the thrift stores and I pick up stuff. I can't tell you the last time I bought something new, because to me, thrift stores are like treasure troves.
Hmm.
They have cool, unique things that you're not going to see anywhere else. But I found, remember, you may be too young for this, but paper dolls. I used to play with paper dolls when I
Yeah.
was a kid, and I found some really cute paper dolls that you can create yourself. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, I know some young kiddos that might like those. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I've been putting together some little kiddo kits with the paper doll, and I'm not gonna lie, I played with them too, but whatever.
Of course, you just have to test them out, make sure they work.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't want them to be like, oh gosh, these are lame. So I just had to play with it.
Yeah.
How was your Halloween, by the way? Halloween with kids is just the most fun time.
Well, honestly, we didn't do anything
Really?
because of where we live. It just like it didn't make sense. And then Cody was having to work. It was just a weird time. And so we just decided, which we do every year. It's like the oddest tradition, but for whatever reason, whenever Cody and I got married, that first Halloween, we decided, well, we were just going to go to Sonic because they have their corn dogs for 50 cents. And so we did that. And that has now become a tradition. Every Halloween,
I
we
mean,
just
do
go.
you?
Yeah.
I
It's like,
like a Sonic. I like a Sonic corn dog. So I mean, I'm not against that at all.
yeah. We don't eat them like for the rest of the year. And that way, like when Halloween comes around, it is a big deal. It's kind of a treat and whatnot. And so
Mhm.
Piper had a blast. She was so excited about
About
corn
corn dogs.
dogs. Yes, because she
That's
never eats them. And so, yeah, she had a great time. And so, yeah, I think we just did that and then ended up watching a movie. Um, Honestly, I don't really remember. It all kind of blurs together all these days. Yeah.
My
So,
my friend Sean has lives in a subdivision that's on kind of the outskirts of St. Louis. So a lot of inner city people will come and trick or treat in like the county,
oh,
and
yeah.
he gets tons of kids. And he's like, I really don't want to sit outside by myself. And I was like, I have been looking for somebody who has kids, because we live in very town-ish, and
Yeah.
we don't get a single trick or treater. So donned on my merited costume and ran on over to his house, and we passed 300, almost 300 kids.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it was fun though. They all thought I was either a Sanderson sister, and one dad thought I was Trisha Yearwood, because my friend Sean was dressed like in a cowboy uniform, like cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I was like, Trisha Yearwood, and we laughed about that all night. You know, it was
That's
like, oh
awesome.
gosh, I don't see it, but okay.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it. I love it. Well, I'm so happy you got to do that. That's
yeah, it
always
was fun.
exciting. That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't really do much around here because we
Mm.
just like we live in a smaller town and we live, I mean, especially where we live is further out of town and kind of, out in
Right.
the boonies. And they don't do trick or treating at the marina. So,
Yeah.
there was that. But yeah, it was so fun. But I'm happy you got to do that because I know
Yeah.
that you really wanted to.
I wanted to. In my community, and I love that they do this. I mean, for the safety of the kids, and it's probably easier on the parents. You know, they do trunk or treats.
Yeah.
A lot of our community churches will have a specific night, like the Baptists will do it one night, and the Catholics do it one night. And, by the time they're finished, they're going to have so much candy anyway. But it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the Presbyterian church does it. And they just open up their lots, and you don't have to be a member of the church to participate. You just, if you live in the community and you want to pull up and put candy in your trunk, then,
Yeah.
they go for
Yeah.
it. And I,
I think it's awesome.
yeah, I think so. I like the fact that it is safer for kids. I mean, because I remember
Mhm.
we were free range
Mhm.
and feral at Halloween,
Yeah.
and we could get, I mean, cars, mischief.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah.
glad that it was, it's a little more contained, but it does kind of makes me feel sad and a little nostalgic for, you know, what
Right.
it could be.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll never be able to experience that. Like
Mm.
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
But
children don't need
luckily,
feral or free range anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Luckily, they're most of them aren't really used to that, so it's not like they don't feel like they're missing anything
Yeah.
anymore. And so I think
I
that's
think
kind of
it's more the old fogies who are like,
yeah.
oh, it's not like it used to be.
Yep, you got to look for the porch light if it's on,
Mhm.
that sort of stuff. Yep, yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I am also sorry that you couldn't do any reading, but you were productive, so that's good. I didn't do any reading either. Well, I kind of did. I had my headphones in and I was listening, but not enough to remember what I read. So I'm going to have to go back and do it again. But I was trying to work on, I'm catching up on my reading journal. And I've been trying to record that as well. And so it's like a whole other thing whenever I'm also recording it because I have to
Mhm.
like all constantly check to make sure I'm doing things where you guys can see and stuff. And,
Yeah.
I'm an overthinker and like I want something to look a certain way, but I'm like, I don't have the stuff for it. And so, yeah, it's fine. I just
There
mainly
is
was through.
there is a reason that I have not filmed myself ever working in my reading journal.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. I look in my and I'm going to CozyCon on Friday, and there's going to be
Yeah.
4 authors there that I've read all 4, and I always take my reading journal with me and have them sign it. I need to finish. I need to at least get those pages done. I'm like, oh my gosh, and now my basement, like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to die.
Of course. Of course. It would happen this week, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, and I mean, if I have to, I'll, it won't be what I would normally do, but it will be finished. So
Yeah. Well,
don't sweat the small stuff.
okay. Luckily, for those that didn't hear, and I don't remember if I ever said it, but Piper, my daughter, is with my mom and my dad, which is wonderful. And Cody is home right now, so he's actually heating up some breakfast. Kind of nice. So because of that, I actually get to like put my head down and get work done. And so that's why I'm like, I'm gonna have to do my journaling today because it's so much easier. Because as much as I love my daughter being a part of everything, little hands constantly grabbing stuff and she's like, oh, I want to use this to craft with, and I'm like, that's what I'm using. Like, yeah, it's just a lot faster when she's not here. So I will be working on that today, but that's good. It's okay. It's okay. So we're gonna say hi to some people. We had several jump on while we were
Yay.
out. So
Awesome.
hello, good morning, good morning.
Morning, Grandma Susan.
Hi, Susan. I hope that you're doing well. Hello, Nikita. And Courtney, you're just so stinking sweet. Just jumping on to say hello, working around the house today since we are all off. We'll keep you on for background noise. Oh, all off? Is it just because it's like election day or is there something different that I'm not thinking about? Which is
I
also highly
wish that
probable.
more people were off on election day. That would make things so much easier.
Yes, yeah, it would. It would.
My poor Dan, I mean, he doesn't get to vote until after work. That's, 5:30 to 7. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to be crowded. I'm not
Me.
looking forward to his experience.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely chaotic. I am thankful that they do allow you to vote earlier as well, just because, like, could you imagine if it genuinely was everybody has to vote only on today? Like those.
I can't imagine it's that's how it used
Yeah,
to
well,
be.
that's true. That's true. It's never been like that since I've started voting. And
Mm.
man, I could not imagine, because my little introverted self would be like, there's too many people. I can't do it. Yeah, it's bad for me.
I have never had that. I've never had to wait more than 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And even when I lived in the city of St. Louis, I didn't have to wait more than 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
I've had friends, Tiffany told me the other day that she voted on Saturday and she waited 2.5 hours.
Oh my goodness. Which, I mean, maybe because it's Saturday and so people who work weird hours, maybe that's the only time that they can go. I don't know. I don't know. That's just crazy though. That's crazy. Well, good morning, Mom. For those that don't know, Shannon is my mom.
Hi, Shannon.
Just hopped on to say hello. Hope everyone has a great day. I hope you're having a great day with Piper. And thank you so much for keeping her. Good morning, friend. How are you? You just got back from voting. There you go. Going to settle in and read for a bit. You're reading An Hour Unspent by Rosanna M. White. I don't know that one. Have you I'm assuming it's not a part of a series. You'll have to let me know more about that one. And then also, remind me of your name. You have told me it before, but I'm blanking on what your name is. So let me know what that one is. Hello, sweet friend. Got to chapter 14 of Malice. Are you enjoying it? I am intrigued by that one. It's been a while since you read a chunky epic fantasy and you're enjoying it so far. Good, good. Yeah. I'm still working my way through Way of Kings, which is a big old chunky epic fantasy. Have I read any more since the last time I talked about it? No, I have not. So technically, I guess I shouldn't say I'm working my way through it, because I'm not. You read 25 pages during that sprint. That's awesome. Yes, agreed, Grandma Susan. We are sorry to hear about your basement. That just,
It's my mark, but luckily that's just it,
yeah,
no damage. It's just water.
yeah. That's how our old basement, it used to be the exact same way. It was a pain in the butt, but it's like, at least it's that and it's not the house.
Yes.
So I'll take
Or
that.
it's not, under carpet or
Yeah,
anything like that. I
yeah,
just can't even imagine dealing with that mess.
right. And I'm assuming your basement is built with the like knowledge that it is going to flood, so it's like prepared for it.
That's one of the reasons that we have the drain in
Yeah,
there, that
gotcha.
it does get water.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's been crazy, crazy rain around here, so I can only imagine what it's like for you guys. I hope everyone else is okay and not having the insane weather. Like I was
But
telling you earlier, we had a tornado warning, like in town, and we're not in town, but you could definitely feel like the wind and everything. It was crazy last night.
yeah, I told Dan last night I was reading about 7:30 and I had my windows open and my bedroom is flush against my back deck or back porch and it has tin roof. And I mean, it was just beating the
Oh
day
yeah.
like I throwing gravel on it. And I looked at him, I was like, I mean, it's almost a little too loud. And he's like, I never
Yeah.
thought you'd complain about the sound of rain. I was like, it's just about a little bit too loud. That sounded like somebody was shooting BBs off the
Oh
top
my
of it. I
goodness.
mean, it was funny.
Hey, Cody, could you do me a favor and go grab my charger from next door? I forgot it over there. I'm sorry. When you're done. If my computer dies, Sonia will have to cover for a second until I can pop it back on. That's one thing I hate about having two separate places that I do things, is like I always forget something. And it's usually something that's pretty pertinent, like a charger.
Yeah.
So Courtney said her basement has water too here in Central Illinois. We have dealt with it since the middle of the night. We'll be getting a new sub pump. Man, I'm sorry. That's
At Courtney, we're in central, almost central Missouri, so kind of
yeah.
all in the same space.
Mm-hmm. You're reading A Winter by the Sea, a Christian historical. I bet it has a very pretty cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that you are enjoying it. How are you reading it? Are you just doing audio? Sorry if y'all can hear my dogs. They they're both like basically deaf, but they bark at anything that they think they hear. You read 13 pages. That's good. Sorry to hear about your basement as well. Yep, such a frustration and challenge. Yeah, that is something that I don't miss. I do have to admit. We have many challenges on the boat, but having to pump a basement, huh?
Our basement.
Cody said our basement's flooded.
It is. Yeah, I was gonna say your basement is water.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, friend. You're listening to Tilly and the Book of Wanderers. Oh, that sounds cute. Is that a middle grade? It sounds like it would be a middle grade book, but if not, I'm sure it's still good. Morning sprints are nice once in a while. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, I'm gonna do them again next week, and then we'll see about which way we're gonna go. I just know for these next 2 weeks I needed morning time ones. You work for the government, so you're off for election day. Okay, that makes way more sense. That makes sense. The schools are off, so you can take your child and teach them about voting. That is awesome.
I
was
wish
telling.
that was
Yeah,
that's not done here.
That's crazy. I was telling Sonia that whenever we went and voted, we took Piper with us, and it was so much fun. / made me nervous because she just wanted to touch everything, but it was really cool to be able to explain these things to her because she still obviously doesn't understand like what a president actually is or anything like that, or like why we have to make all these different decisions and stuff. And so it was interesting, but it was cool and it was really great. And just lots of lessons. And so she had a good time. I liked having her there, but I didn't know that we could even bring her in. I was really hesitant to even try because like used to, you just couldn't. So
yeah, we did a big lesson in class yesterday. I teach English to immigrants to anybody who doesn't know, and we did a big lesson yesterday about because they're all going to be getting their citizenship, and then they will be allowed to vote. Once you're a citizen, you vote, and I went through like the whole process and just kind of showing them like how you do, and having your driver's license, and different ways of voting because I've voted multiple ways since I've been voting. Paper, pencil. You can do it on the computer. Once upon a time, we did a punch. It was like a punch where you punched out the thing, So there is so many different ways. And I'm bummed because I didn't get my sticker because I was going to wear it today to school and be like, okay, I voted. So now they're just going to have to believe me. But it is a cool experience, especially for your child, but also for people who have never voted in the United States.
mm-hmm.
Many of them, they, have elections in their own country, so they're familiar with the election process, but every process is different. And, I like that they allow you to bring your children in,
Yeah. Because I wish that I would have known more whenever I started voting because I didn't understand what all was going on. Like I just didn't understand the process or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do wish that like I would have had that knowledge because I think it would have made, I don't know that I don't honestly remember everything that I voted for, but
Right.
I think it would have made a more enjoyable experience because it is like, it is a big deal and it is something that we should all do. And so that's something that I really wanted to try to work with Piper on. That way, by the time she is allowed to vote, then she will understand like what's going on, and then she'll be able to actually be excited about going and doing it instead of, anxious or whatever. Feeling
Growing up, the only time I ever heard about voting is when the teachers talked about it. So it wasn't something real impactful to me. I love that you can, bring your children in and talk about voting. I just liked it when it was, people were campaigning because they would come and bring you candy at school and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was cool.
Yeah.
But, I'm motivated by food. Surprise.
Yeah.
But I just didn't realize as a kid how important it was because it wasn't something that, was talked about in my household. It wasn't something that was taught in my household. And it is impactful for, everyone to know that their vote is, important, no matter what team you're on, let your voices be heard. And I like that. I like that, kids are doing that and people are realizing how important it is to be heard and how blessed we are to be able to be heard.
Yes. Agreed. Emily said that she walked in and out. People in the suburbs of Chicago who voted yesterday waited 2 to 3 hours. My goodness. Oh. Okay, I was thinking about this, Emily, because you did this with Dracula, and I was like, I should probably do this. So she said, figure out how many pages you need to read a day to finish it in 2 months, and then read that. And when you finish, the daily pages work on other reads. And I'm like, I should do that. And I was thinking in a month, which was still very daunting, but 2 months, I could do that and finish it by the end of the year. That's a pretty good goal. I'll probably do that because, guys, Way of Kings is huge. That's how you make your way through chunky books. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I agree. And Grandma Susan knows how I am. So she's like, Maddie needs to do that. You're using audio or Kindle. Okay, switching back and forth. The cover is beautiful. I believe it. I believe it. Anything wintry, I'm going to love. Hi,
Same.
friend. You're listening to A
Yeah.
Place at the Table. Why do I feel like I know this one? I don't. But you're at 50%. That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you enjoying it still? Or at all? You didn't say if you were enjoying it one way or the other. So it is middle grade fantasy. Okay, that's what I thought. Pages and Co. Book 1 by Anna James. That sounds really cute. I love me a good middle grade. Like love middle grade.
I just
So,
finished a really great graphic novel that was middle grade for my Anne of Green Gables prompts, like different
yeah.
versions of Anne of Green Gables. It was called Anne from West Philly, and it
Okay.
was absolutely adorable. It was a modern retelling of Anne of Green Gables. I'll go grab it real quick.
I didn't even know that that was a thing. Do we have any other fans of Anne of Green Gables? That is one of my all-time favorite books. Cody loves it too. It was one of the books that actually got me back into reading because I had never read it until I was 32 years old, which is crazy to me.
I was 48 when I read it for the first time.
Really? My
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how I missed it that long. And it's not that I didn't know about it. That is so cute.
It's adorable. And the artwork is beautiful. And
Oh, wow.
it was so, I read it in a day because it's a graphic novel,
Right.
but it was so cute. And they left out some stuff. I mean, it's a modern retelling, but
Right.
I think a lot of kids don't read Anne of Green Gables because they feel like it's an old fashioned book. But
Mm-hmm.
if but it has such a great story. And then this is very modern. It's a 2-day. I thought it was delightful. It was so cute.
Yeah.
It had all that sweet wholesomeness that you just love. I really, really enjoyed it.
I will probably read that one because it looks
It's
really cute.
it is super cute, and yeah, it's so funny because I read I think it was 48, 47, or 48 when I read it for the first time, and I was like, "Where has this been all my life?" Because when I was in school, I don't remember ever hearing of Anne of Green Gables. It was always Charlotte's Web, which I love, but every teacher I had from second grade to sixth grade read Charlotte's Web. I knew the story by
Yeah.
the time, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then Laura Ingalls, because the
Mm-hmm.
Laura Ingalls Museum is in Missouri, so
Oh, yeah.
like her homestead is here. So there's a lot of that in Missouri. So of course we read all the Laura Ingalls all the time, and I like that too. But I never,
Yeah.
and it was that, and there was one more, and I can't remember what it was. So that was impactful, clearly. But it's just like all those like prairie American early West prairie books, and
Yeah.
Anne's from Canada, so it just never. I don't think I
Right.
ever thought to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, that book was like my whole personality though, but I didn't
Mine
know
too.
it. And
Mine.
I'm obsessed. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many friends I've like, oh my gosh, you have to read Anne of Green Gables, and I read it, and they're like, it's like
Mhm.
reading about you, and it's like, I know, right?
I know. Yes. Yeah, I love that. But I'm a big fan. I do love Little House on the Prairie because those
Me
are just
too.
like I like the books that they're not complicated, they're not complex, but they do actually have like an actual arc with the
Mm-hmm.
characters, and there's like development and there's growth, and it doesn't feel like when you're done with it you're like, why was this written? Like
Mm-hmm.
it feels like there's a purpose to it. And those
Right.
are books just like I read them thinking, is this one that I want to keep and eventually have Piper read?
Mm-hmm.
And those are definitely ones which, of course, obviously if they've withstood this long time, then obviously they're pretty good. But I say that, and like we had to read like Grapes of Wrath, and I did not like that book.
Yeah.
But that one's stood the test of time, but I didn't like it. There's many others,
I
but
didn't
that's
care
a good one.
when I read To Kill a Mockingbird. I didn't like it when I was in high school, but I read it later, and I don't think that I was emotionally or like mature enough to read it to understand it fully when we were made to read it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important for kids to choose their own books at their own,
Yeah.
because you when you make kids read things, especially if they're not developmentally ready for it or it's not of interest, they're not going to like it.
Right.
They're just
Yes,
not
I
going to
agree.
enjoy it. I loved The Scarlet Letter. I loved anything
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe, but for some reason to me that I had to read it later to understand it and love it. Nikita, she's Sarah Plain and Tall was the other book I was thinking of, and
Oh,
she
okay.
knew exactly
Oh, I
what it
saw
was.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read that one.
Yeah, they
Sarah.
beat that one into us. That's probably why I forgot.
Like it's just, in the recesses of my mind just being hidden
Mm.
because I don't want to
We
bring
did
up the memory.
novels. We did novels in fifth grade, and
Yeah.
it seemed like we spent like it seemed like the whole school year was on that book, but I think it was like 3 months on that one book,
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
it was too long for me. It was just like,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this. Can we please read something else?
Right. Yeah. You're like, I would just want to go back to when there was only one chapter in a book and we can just talk about that and then
Yeah. Well, and then we read Madeline L'Engle. We read The Wrinkle in Time, and that like
oh
introduced me into sci-fi, and I fell in love with Wrinkle in Time.
yeah. And that was one that we were forced to read. And so I hated it. And then I reread it many years later and then was like, this is actually really good. I really liked this. But
Mm-hmm.
because I was forced to read it, I didn't
You
like it.
didn't like it. I think
Yes.
that's the reason that many people grow up to not be non-readers is because
Mhm.
you force them to do something, you know.
Yeah.
I know that as teachers, we have to give curriculum. We have to give them, people have to do things they don't want to do. That's life.
Mhm.
But I think with big books and stuff, I think there's a way. I don't know. I like the choices. I want,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I did novels in third grade with my higher readers, I always let them choose. I give them, I set the parameters, this one or
Yeah.
this, and they chose. So it made them
Yes.
feel like that they had more choice in
Right.
their life.
Which I think is great. That's something I'm excited since we do homeschool Piper. I'm excited that we get to do that and like she gets to actually be more of a part of that where it
Mm-hmm.
is like, well, what are you interested in right now? That's what like as long as we're able to cover the things that need to be covered, it doesn't matter like what the way that we get there is as long as we get there. And so,
Yeah.
if she's interested in dinosaurs, then we'll read those kind of books, and so I love that. That's been really fun because like kids they change so much. But I never ever want to squash Piper's love of books, and that's something like because my brother hated reading. He was that person who
Mm-hmm.
would not read. And now he loves it and he regrets that he spent, almost 30 years of just not
No.
doing any of it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like I don't want that for Piper. So
Mhm.
I'm very
And
diligent in trying.
one of the things that you can do also to arc an interest, like, she's interested in dinosaurs, then you do these things about dinosaurs, but there's so many other things that can arch into that, the science of archaeology, and then you can get into, textures of earth, talking like
Mhm.
different types of soil. So you take those interests and then kind of arc them off so you can give them different stems of learning, but they're still staying within their interest because it's in
Yeah.
the same field of study.
Yeah. And then she doesn't realize that that's what's happening. It's just
Mhm.
like, oh, just learn about
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
that's the
Yeah.
best way to help kids learn is when they realize they're not being taught.
Yes. Yeah. Which for me is sometimes hard because I'm like, sometimes I can be such a type A personality. I'm like, no, we have to do it just like this. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, we have the free reign, to where as long as she covers the things she's covered, we can do it
Yeah,
however we want. And so,
yeah.
yeah,
Go go
it's
about
been
it
fun.
whatever way.
Yeah. So you're only about 30 to 45 minutes in, but characters come to life, and Anne Shirley just showed up. Oh, there you go. And Anne of Gigi is an all-time fave. Yep, I'm obsessed with it. Uh, okay, that's fine.
No.
She's gonna be laughed at, but I never read Anne of Green Gables, but will next year. Just this morning, you read your first Ellen Montgomery titled The Blue Castle.
I love
I
that book as much as I love Anne.
see, I have not read that one yet.
I was gonna
It's
suggest
another
it, but
one.
I know how many books you have, and I was like, I'm not gonna suggest any books. I don't want to overwhelm her.
I have so many, but it is on my list of books to read. I'm just not there yet. So I probably won't happen this year because I have, 2 months to get a lot done. But it is on my list.
Hoopla has it on audio.
Oh, okay, good to know. Okay, and we already talked about this one.
Mhm.
You're 66 and haven't read Anne of Green Gables. Susan, you would love it. You're starting the series in January and reading a book a month. Looking forward to this. That is perfect.
I love
I
it.
that's a great pace because I had the problem where I went from the first to the second, and now I get them confused because I read them way too close to each other. So I think giving yourself the time as well to like sit and settle is a really good idea.
I
But
love it.
Grandma Susan, you're gonna love it. That is right up your alley.
I've only read Anne of Green Gables because I don't want her to grow up, so I won't read the
Oh,
other.
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
the fact that she's precocious and a child, and it's like I know that I know the story, I know what happens to her, but I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to read about her being an adult and making adult
Right.
decisions, and
Yeah. It's like, no, can we just Peter Pan this girl? She
yeah,
never
I just
grows up.
want her to be the precocious and fabulous and fantastic child. I don't want her to lose the starry-eyedness.
Yeah.
It's what I
Aw.
love about her.
Yeah. So you're enjoying it. It's a super sweet middle grade about immigrant families. Oh, cute. Well, I'm happy that you're enjoying it, and I'll have to look that one up. I don't think I've ever heard of it, so I'm interested though. Okay, it is a series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, I feel like almost everybody who reads it, who really genuinely likes to read books, usually loves Anne of Green Gables. Your husband found it interesting that were books he had to read in school that you did not, and shocked that your school did not choose them after you read them this year. Well, yeah, it is weird talking to people who went to school at the same time as me and the books that I had to read and the books that they had to read because I guess to me I just thought that like you had to read the same books, but I don't feel like I read any books that I loved in high school, except well, no. So I read when I was in seventh grade. I read Where the Red Fern Grows and To Kill a Mockingbird, and I loved both of those. And then in high school, I don't think I ever read any of them that I really, really liked, and that obviously like stuck with me. And I don't know. I think that's sad because I can think of books that I read myself, but not from school
Mm-hmm.
that I really liked.
I don't remember us reading like being any specific series when I was in middle school. Like novel that didn't really start until I was in ninth grade, and that's when we read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
We had suggested reading, but not like novels kind of on your own sort of thing,
Mm, yeah.
except like when I was in fifth grade, we had unit, it was like a unit more than, I don't, and it was, more of a basal units sort of situation.
Yeah.
Um, I remember that we read Scarlet Letter and I loved it, and
Oh,
Chaucer,
yeah.
the Canterbury Tales, and Edgar Allan Poe, and The Outsiders. We read
Mm-hmm.
The Outsiders in eighth grade.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that was one that I do remember reading. I mean, you're
Yeah.
making bring me back here because it's been a minute.
Yeah. I remember that we had to read Lord of the Flies, and I
Mhm.
hated that book. Hated, hated,
I
hated. I
did not.
understand. You never read that one?
Mm-mm. I read 1984. I remember reading that, but we didn't read Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I understand why they made us read it, but I hated it, and it has it has stuck with me. Like I remember a lot about it, and then the Hatchet, we read that one right around the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Hatchet.
another
Yeah.
book. That one's really good, but at the same time, I'm like, I vividly remember reading certain parts of it. Like those did stick with me, and not necessarily because I liked it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh well, I guess that's school. You read books you don't like, but we get through it, and we've
Mhm.
all come out on the other side still loving to
Still
read. So
reading.
that's
We're still
yeah.
reading. So
Hmm.
some of us survived.
Oh, and she said the rest of the books are so good. She doesn't lose her starry eyes. Oh, yeah. I haven't finished the whole series. Yeah, it is so good. Agreed. Maddie, have you figured out how you're celebrating 1,000 subscribers? Again, congratulations. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Susan.
congratulations.
I have a couple of things in mind, and I'm just trying to figure out when I can do it slash how to make it happen. And so it will be happening before 2025 at least. But yeah, it was one of those I didn't expect it, and then all of a sudden it happened, and it was like, well, shoot, I was not prepared for this. So, um, yeah, I was expecting to not have to deal with this until next year. So here we are. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing. And I'm so thankful for all of you guys. But it definitely is. I got to jump on it. You took modern U.S. novel in high school, got to Joy Luck Club, which is fantastic, and Catch 20. I've never read either of those. I've never even heard of either of those. So, huh. And we're going to do a couple more comments. And honestly, we're probably going to call it early because I did forget about some stuff that I have to do. And I won't be able to jump back on. Plus, I know that Sonia's going to have to go to work soon. So we're going to catch back up. And then I'm going to have a little chat with Sonia. And then we're going to call it quits. So just so you guys know. And Emily, you love Lord of the Flies. Well, maybe if I reread it now, I might like it. But like it is taking all of my willpower to read Wuthering Heights because I know if I read it right now, I would love it. But I had to read it in high school for an AP Lit class and then do all of these like extensive essays on it. And so it made me like hate the book. You know what I mean? And so Lord of the Flies was kind of the same way. And so I feel like if I would just do it, then I would be thankful and I'd be happy that I did it. But it's so hard for me to do that. I might have to make it a challenge, do something like that next year. Yeah, I can't believe you've never read it either, Susan. Seriously, because it is right up your alley. Novels were required starting in 5th grade. There were many of the required reads became favorites of yours. Yeah, I didn't have that same effect. I wish that it did, but it didn't. It didn't. But I was loving like what's it called? In high school, my favorite series was the Angus Songs and Full Frontal Snogging. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's basically following a girl who's from England, hence why it's called like their weird names, whatever. And she just has like the worst luck, but gets into like some of the kookiest situations, and she just had the best sense of humor. Like she reminded me of a British version of Anne of Green Gables, who you're like, you're just this cutest thing ever. And you genuinely are trying so hard, but somehow like your spunkiness just gets you into trouble, that sort of thing. And
That
I
reminds
just
me a little bit of a Miss Piggle Wiggle too. Like Mrs. Piggle Wiggle used to be like that as well. She would get into these like crazy situations with kids. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a really cute series. And that's what I wanted to spend my time reading. And then I had to read
things I should not have been reading in high school. I was reading Stephen King. I was reading Sidney Sheldon, Jackie Collins, things that I should not have been reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
But YA there didn't exist.
Right.
You know, it was either you read adult books or you read kids books. It was no middle. You know, they had like the little Harlequin romances, but I read every one of those in the middle school, you know. So
yeah, we I was blessed that we had the time, which looking back now, I'm like, I don't know if it was a blessing, but we did have, I lived through the twilight era of high school. And so we had those books coming out, which looking back now, I'm like, those books were actually not that good, but I loved them at the time. And then of course, like we had Harry Potter and all that jazz. And so we did have a pretty decent YA, but nothing like what it is today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that. I get that. And hello, Laura. You're at the doctor with your friend who's been with your daughter who's been sick since Friday. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
With her reading The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center when you can. That's one I really, really want to read because it looks so cute. So man, I hope that they figure out what's going on with her because that just stinks.
Yeah.
Absolutely stinks.
Laura and I went to see Catherine Center when she was in St. Louis, and she is hysterical. Oh, she was so funny. Yeah, like, you know, she took, it took us, I think it was midnight when we left. I think the thing started at 7:30. I mean, it was that long. Wow. But she spoke to and took picture like every single person that stood in line. If you brought 100 books, she signed 100 books. I mean, she was
that's so awesome.
So sweet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is that I feel like that's a really good author. I mean, I understand you can't be somewhere forever. Otherwise, you know, people can take advantage of it and stuff like that. But I think, you know, when you can do things like that every once in a while, that's amazing. So that's awesome.
Yeah. She was very personable, so funny. You can tell that her books are probably funny because she is really funny. Like I giggled and laughed several times, and that's not really my genre.
Yeah.
I was a support. I was a reading support person for Laura that night, and she's going with me Friday to Cozy Con. So
Oh, I love it. I
yeah,
love it.
but
Oh,
I had a good time, and she was very interesting.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say if she was that funny in person, then her books have got to be funny.
Yeah.
So, well, that's awesome, and I hope that you guys have a good time.
Mm,
And yes, same, same.
yes.
I would love Joy Luck Club. It's about the relationship between mothers and daughters by Amy Tan. Okay, I'm gonna look that one up
I
because
enjoyed that. I read it too.
I don't know how I never heard of it. Oh, fever for 5 days straight. My goodness.
Mm.
Oh, that's the worst. Wow. And that's just like, it's not even just that you have the fever, it's the body aches and everything. And so then her body's going to be so much more tired because it's just been aching for 5 days. Oh, poor
Mm.
thing. That is, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Praying that there is definitely some answers are given, some relief is going to be given for her, and that it doesn't spread, whatever it might be, because that would be awful. Well, we have reached the bottom of the comments, so I do want to know what is going on in Sonia's world. What do you have coming up? You're working on a readathon right now.
I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on the More Montgomery Challenge with Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes and
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books.
Okay.
I have some videos posted about information. If you're curious, you can go skip on over to my channel, Sonia with an I. I have I just put out a fall vlog that is very, very, very fall because I took every time there was a leaf falling, I was videoing it. So
Yeah,
I couldn't help it. I just couldn't help
I
myself. I love
loved it.
fall so
I
much.
loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. I just put my October reads up. I have another vlog coming. I think I'm going to live a day like a grown up Anne Shirley and
Okay.
wake up and do all the things that Anne Shirley would do and
Yeah.
video it. I'll probably do a little bit of a vlog about Cozy Con just because there's so many great authors that are going to be there and
Yeah.
it's just a fun time. And I'm just going to continue reading. I really want to embrace and not try to speed up so much because it just seems like, the year is going by so fast. And somebody
Mhm.
mentioned the term Slowvember, and M's books are everywhere. One of her videos said something about Slowvember, and I was like, I need to embrace that. I need a
Yeah.
Slowvember.
Yeah.
I need to slow down. I want to enjoy the season. This is the time that I am the happiest. So it's like it needs to slow down.
Yeah. And just
But
enjoy it.
yeah, and then of course, just killing time with cozy sprints on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon or evenings, and you never know what you're going to get out of me. So
Yeah. Those are always wild. I love it. Yeah. Well, I am so thankful that you were able to join today. And
thanks for
I absolutely, absolutely. I hope that everything it gets cleared up with your basement and that you don't have to deal with that anymore and that work goes well for you.
yeah.
And as same for everybody else, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, whatever you might be doing. We're going to do another daytime sprint next week. And we will probably start at 9 as well. That way we can try and be done, about lunchtime. I do have to end it a little early today. And yeah, if you guys haven't signed, go make sure that you check out Sonia's channel, learn
Thank
about
you.
her readathon, and also watch the fall one. I did watch your fall one, but I watched on my TV, so I can't like comment or anything.
I
And I
do
always
that.
feel just like, no, I did watch it and I loved it. And it's so you guys will love it as well. It'll give you all the fall vibes. And then let me think. I have the readathon. If you guys don't know about that, that'll be it'll start on Thanksgiving. So there is
Oh my
a
gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Okay, I meant to tell you this. I was going to tell you to be thankful you're the turkey because I have an uncle by marriage who was shot by a turkey. No lie.
what?
So I'll tell a quick story. I know you're trying to jump off here.
You good.
So, okay, and I'm going to make myself look like I grew up in Hillbilly Haven. And I mean, I did. But
Fine.
I have an uncle who isn't my uncle by marriage. He's my Uncle Terry's brother. But so he and his brothers go turkey hunting every year. And honestly, they probably shoot more wild turkey than regular turkeys, if you know what I mean. But they go every year, and one of them shot a turkey, threw it in the back of his old sedan, because he shot it, put it in the trunk because they don't have
Yeah.
whatever, it's
Right.
whatever you have. And then threw his gun on top of it, shut the trunk, drove home, opened the trunk, and the turkey wasn't dead. So the turkey started like jerking around, and the claw of the turkey caught the gauge, shot him in the leg, like this close to his artery. I mean, he could have died. I mean, it was that close to his artery. His wife, he's yelling and screaming and whatever. His wife heard the gunshots. His wife heard the yelling and screaming, ran out, and the turkey shot my uncle.
Oh my
Luckily,
goodness.
he went to the hospital and he was fine. But see, you got to watch out for that turkey revenge, because the turkey got him back. Now,
Oh wow.
I was 12 when this happened, and I still remember. I remember my uncle telling the whole story. Like, I can visualize. They're all gone now. Like, every one of them are gone now, and I can remember every bit of that. But the turkey always gets revenge. So be careful, hunters.
There we go. So I'm gonna have to make sure that is somehow incorporated, because that is insane. Like, nope, that never happens, but obviously it does. That is crazy. Could you imagine if he
No.
didn't make it out that lucky? Like, he literally would have died from a turkey.
It was the bullet was this far away from like the main artery in your leg. Like, he would have died. He would have bled out. But he had enough alcohol in his system, to be honest. He probably would have made it. But yeah. And I don't think he shot a turkey since, to be honest. I mean, he shot a lot of wild turkeys. He didn't shoot any like real turkeys.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't, because it's like, no, one time's good enough. I'm not a cat.
I don't even know if he even ate turkey. Like, I think they went from a turkey to a ham family. And
probably. That is so funny. I mean, it's not funny. That's sad, but it's funny.
It is funny. I think it's hysterical. I've told that story a bazillion times. And even though I'm like, I swear that my mom and dad are not brother and sister. We are not this hillbilly, but yeah.
That is so
and
funny.
I clarify, he is an uncle by marriage.
There you go.
We're not related.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I don't have a story to top that. So
Cheers.
On that note, that's amazing. Yeah. Go make sure that you guys join Team Turkey, because obviously we can hold our own.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited for it. But man, thank you, Sonia, for being here, for always bringing all the giggles. I love it so much.
Good. It's all fun till the turkey gets the gun.
That's true. Well, Sonia, thank you. And I will message you about another time of jumping on here. Perfect. And again, everybody, I hope they all have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all in the next whenever I see y'all.
Happy reading.
Bye, guys.
Bye.